I already did this, but we'll do it twice. Shout out. Adversity happens. What's your reaction going to be? In the lab, we working. We steady grinding. Today I had 10, 8, 8, 135, 145, 155. Superset with some sumo and stretching for my warm-up. After I did some ham stuff, working sets, I had 886 max programmed at these weights. Didn't end up going the way I wanted it to exactly, but it's the way it goes. Supersetted with some pistol squat kills. It's an absolute brutal thing. And then for a finisher, I had some drops. Supersetted with sumo, and I ended up doing some goblet ham stuff. This is one of the warm-ups I've started to do more. Shout out to Josh Bridges, the man, the myth. Shout out Josh Bridges, he's the GOAT. CrossFit is aight, but Josh Bridges is pretty sick. His old videos were better than his new ones, but watch him if you want to get fired up. This is the first stretch I do every single day because my back hurts pretty much all day long. And when you loosen up your hamstrings, your back just feels better, I find. And so just finding those movements that target your areas that are sore is definitely a go-to. So just focusing on this and the squeezing is brutal, but it really warms you up and it gets you going. So one leg at a time, switch. I do 10s, sets of 10, 3 sets of 10 each leg. I've done 20. I'm thinking about doing some 30, but right now we're just going to do 10s. It's all right. Gets you fired up, gets you ready to go, ready to hit some front squat in the lab, some 430 work, you dig? It's all just about grinding. It's all about hustling. And if you're not hustling, you're not grinding, it doesn't matter. Everybody else is just drinking on the weekends and doing their thing. But we're out here, Hedberg household, the influence that we have and the friends that come over, we're trying to get better. We're trying to get stronger. We're trying to get less tight hamstrings. And so this is the fundamental movement, the foundation, if you will, for being great and focusing on your movements and getting stronger. Getting to that 405 squat and that 315 bench, because we all know that hamstring stretches transfer straight over to bench. So I like some RDLs doing with a 10-pound kettlebell, focusing on just that stretch in the lead leg, not so much locking on the back leg, although that is another cue that I think I'd like to focus on more. I really got to clean this up, but it is what it is, and even though it doesn't look good, it still gets me fired up in the moment, and so that's what matters. It matters how you feel. It matters how you look in the aesthetics, but it matters how you feel. I'm trying to think about fitness as more of as something I'm going to do for the rest of my life, as a long-term thing. And so right now, if my strength isn't where I want to be, if my body isn't where I want to be, even though that's motivation, it's going to get there someday, and I can't get down on myself, and you can't get down on yourself either, because if you stay consistent, consistency is the key. No matter if you're buying stocks or cars or houses, if you have quality stuff and you do it over and over and over again, you're going to win more than the guys that are doing creatine and doing SARMs for 6 months out of their whole life. You just have to stay consistent, and yes, genetics play a role, but you just really have to focus on that, on those hamstring stretches, and getting the areas that you feel are weak and finding stretches that hit them. I just progressed this year to being able to do some hamstring stuff with my hands flat on the ground, so that's pretty sick. Switching to split here, overhead 10 kb. It's alright, focusing on the pump of the lead leg. I feel like this is a stretch. We did a lot of split in high school, and the stretch / movement that I really feel comfortable with. It's killer. This is something that people need to do more in their programs, more single leg, unilateral movement, and core stuff. Like, don't just do 6-minute abs at the end of your workout. Do movements that hit your abs before your main lifts, before your work sets, and also after. Don't just do them after, because you need to get your whole body primed and ready to go for the grease. This stretch definitely is a moneymaker, and I think that it's something people should do more. As you can see here, I'm wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants with the Nike Metcons. Best fit. Shout out to GQ for most handsome man of the year, Luke Hedberg, with his 0 subscribers on YouTube. But it's cool. I watched some YouTube last night and decided to film my workout this morning, and so we're just gonna see how it goes. I definitely can point out some things in myself that I need to improve, and I think that filming will definitely play a role in making my strength gain and aesthetics gain better. This is a second set of the warm-up, 145 front squat for 8. It's all right. I definitely bounce, but I think the bounce comes from me pushing to get my speed on the way up. And you can see my ankles, they're pretty tight on the ground. This is a good angle. Focusing on the ankles is huge. So many people have their ankles come up. Some KB swings, just getting those glutes and hamstrings fired up and ready to go with some lightweight for some heavy pushes. I warm up for a long time, but I find that warming up for a long time is the difference between pushing 405 and pushing 595, even though I've never pushed either of those weights, but it's going to set the stage. This is more lunge-ish movement, single leg, step backs. Step backs are killer. I like lunges. In college, I would do 10-minute lunges, which is pretty fire, just for 10 minutes straight lunging, which is cool. Some dead, just one, because my back is messed up. Switching to the work, I didn't film everything, obviously. This is the second set, this is the second to last set at 265. I wanted to get 6, only got 5, but as you can see here, when the waist gets heavy, my knees start to cave in, which is what happens to a lot of people. But then it's just those tight adductors that need to roll a little bit more. But I'm happy enough. I'm good at pushing through the plateau. But here we go, 295. Did not push through the plateau. Unracked it. As soon as I unracked it, I wobbled. And you need to watch people when they unrack their weight. When people are squatting 600, they unrack it like it's nothing. And I unracked it not very confidently. So I failed, and I deserved that fail. But I've front squatted 315 before, and so I think today was just a bad day. This is some drop sets. This is 165. Before this, I did 225 for 2 and 185 for 6. I was gonna try and do 165 for 6 as well, but then I got to 6 and I was like, I'll get 10, and then when I got to 10, I was like, I'll get 20. It's just you gotta push yourself mentally. I could do it. After this, I definitely was pretty stoked about it, because I just pushed through that pain and got pumped and got pretty gassed. And you need to know what's going to kill you and what's going to make you stronger, because there is a difference. What's going to kill you is putting a bunch of weight on your spine on back squat, which too many people do, and too many people have pain. Just don't focus on stuff that hurts you and focus on stuff that makes you feel better and makes you stronger as a person. This is my last segment for the day, but finish it off with some gob squat with an elevated heels, just 20s. Did a couple sets of this. It gets you pumped. Have the shorts out so you can see the aesthetic legs. Just get you going. It's just killer. So if you made it this far, shout out. Thanks. Have a podcast. Comment in the description if you want the link, and thanks for watching 2021. You dig?